Yo, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here. Very busy at all times. Now, this is the people who took the top 5 L's in hip hop in 2018. That's right. And number 1 is in Kanye West. Let's stop that right now. So, in case you're thinking it's Kanye, it's not Kanye West. I mean, there were some people that were honorable mentions. People wanted to throw in Bill Cosby. I'm like, Bill Cosby wouldn't attach himself to hip-hop, so I wouldn't attach him to hip-hop. A lot of people that probably would have made the list if they were borderline. From Quavo to Offset, the Migos, period. Lil Yachty. Wale. You know, it's a lot of people that could have made this list, but I think this is the biggest one. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to get started with the list because I don't want to waste any of you guys' time. And by any means, if you like the video, please click the link in the description box and make a donation to the page. We appreciate all the love and support from our fans and subscribers, or whatever you like to call yourselves. You can leave a message, too. Leave your email there so I can contact you. If you want, that's if you want. You know, I actually do contact people, by the way. Now, here we go. Number 5, Eminem. Now, a lot of people gonna say, "Man, that's just hate. Man, how you gonna hate on Eminem? He destroyed MJK. You're just a hater. Man, I can't believe it." Now, when you get through with your rant, let's go through 2018. Eminem put out a biblical inspired album called The Revival earlier this year, where he was dissing Donald Trump, had Ed Sheeran on the songs, had Walk on Water with Adele, and all these other. It was a hot garbage. It was the worst album he had ever put out. His own fans turned against him. The blacks turned against him when he tried to make this stands for it looked like a reach to try to get black fans back, to say Eminem's back rocking with us. He's rolling with us now. Black fans didn't buy it. Nobody did. So, in the haste of his anger, he decides to make another album where he's blasted everybody who didn't like his last album. Well, that sounds about genius. So, in going through that process, he made an album, Kamikaze, which was good. It's a good album. It was an angry album for Eminem. Then, a week later, wasn't even a week later, MGK drops a song. And that song was called Rap Devil. And that song burned a hole in the Eminem. And you didn't hear anything from Eminem for about 3 weeks. It was the first time we seen Eminem cut and bleeding, and so now what is he going to do? Everyone's talking about how he won already, and Eminem's going to kill him, Eminem's going to destroy him. And for the first time in Eminem's career, he was pressured to making a song. No one had ever done that to him before. He had to respond. He couldn't ignore it. So he comes out with a song, and the song was... From an MC perspective, yeah, we would understand it, but we know the people who are, you know, just Eminem supporters are gonna say it's great before the words even come out of his mouth. So, but the general consensus is like, I don't know, and that is why he's at number 5. You're Eminem. You were supposed to spike that ball, and you didn't spike that ball. So, you're at number 5. Number 4 on this list, Ariana Grande. People gonna say she ain't hip hop. She did a song with Nicki Minaj. She hip hop. She dated doggone Big Sean. She's hip hop. Ariana Grande. Well, she's had a disastrous year. After all this big promotion for her album coming out, Sweetener, Eminem drops a surprise album right on top of her head and destroys all of it. But before that, her boyfriend, Mac Miller, who she was dating at the time, they suddenly break up. And now she's dating Saturday Night Live's Pete Davidson out of nowhere. They get engaged in less than 2 weeks and get tattoos of each other on each other's body. How quick? Mac Miller ends up having an accidental death with overdose of fentanyl and a couple other drugs. And his addiction takes his life. And now the fans are blaming Ariana Grande for him going back towards drugs. So now the Mac Miller fans are starting to attack Ariana Grande, and she has no movement from her new album because Eminem just dropped without warning and just destroyed her entire movement. So she's had a disaster year. Her song with Nicki Minaj didn't go anywhere, and now everything looks like a waste of time. She had to break up with Pete Davidson because of all the bad press. Then she had to go ahead and get his tattoo removed, make a song saying thank you next to try to gain some ground, and here we go. She's starting to get some of the traction and some of the badness of the year off of her going into the next year, but she had it rough in 2018. And that is why she's at number 4. Number 3 on the list, Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj saw Cardi B come in and take everything from her just like that. And now she comes out in April with 2 songs dissing Cardi B. Then there was this big motorsport controversy that didn't happen, where the two were going at each other, and she decided that she's coming out with an album called Queen, in which she's going to reclaim her time as the best, and she's this and she's that, and it falls flat on its face. Not only that, she makes some references to Cardi B's child or parenting on social media. Cardi B attacks her, or tries to attack her, at a fashion gala, in which Nicki Minaj stays on the wall and says, when Cardi asks her, come over here and let's fight it out, she says, no, I'm staying right here. And when that happened, we all saw the results of that, the fallout. She's had quite a bit of success on the radio, as she goes on the radio and make more lives. Then Cardi B goes out and smashes all of those on the internet. But the general consensus is the public's tired of Nicki. She broke up with her relationship with Nas that nobody bought. And it seems like she's the person that just can't keep a man. So, with that being said, now she's starting to date a guy who's an ex-con, has child sex crimes on his record. And everyone's like, what is going on with you, Nicki? You keep going backwards. Now her own fans who support her are scratching their head as more and more barbs are getting off the boat and going over to Cardi. So, definitely at number 3 is Nicki Minaj. So, we move to number 2 on the list, which is Kanye West. Kanye to the tizzer. First, Kanye comes out with a photograph of him wearing a manga hat. This set a lot of people off. him wearing this hat in support of Trump, all on Twitter. His association with Candace Owens, backing Candace Owens, and then his TMZ interview that he says got taken out of context when he talked about slavery being a choice for black people, and that torpedoed his entire whatever run he thought he had coming out with his album. Now, in the midst of this, he was behind the scenes while Pusha T and Drake were having their squabble. He was the producer of the album. He was the only reason Drake was there. He was the generation of all of these things to come. But because of the TMZ interview, his feud with Drake, nobody went out to support Kanye West's new album, which they didn't like in the first place. He dropped and released like 5 albums, all of them basically tanked. From Tiana Taylor to Nas, ruined Nas's whole movement. Kid Cudi's album, Pusha's album, and his album, all 7 songs each, all released throughout the summer, weeks apart. It turned out to be a disaster of a promotion, and therefore everything failed. They couldn't get tour dates, show spots, and definitely no one has had a more disasterful year than Kanye West, as he caused his wife to lose money that he have to give her ownership into his Yeezy brand to keep her from leaving. Kanye West has had a huge loss in 2018, which brings us to the number 1 biggest loser of 2018. Try right. 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine. No one has lost more than this kid who shouldn't have been here in the first place. 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine, or whatever you want to call him. 6ix9ine this and 6ix9ine that. 6ix9ine in jail. 6ix9ine rat. Yeah, him. This guy who basically just screams on a microphone, don't say any words that really rhyme, and is just terrible. For the culture, he's starting a lot of beefs, going to neighborhoods, trying to make people want to fight him, upsetting the people that live there, causing violent attempts, going back and forth to jail. He just settled a case for child sex video. He had to pay some kid in Houston, Texas, who he pushed at an airport or grabbed. They had to settle a lawsuit there. All this money. His bodyguards get shot. They go overseas in India and Dubai. They have an SUV that flip over. One of the bodyguards is almost paralyzed, seriously injured with internal wounds on an ATV flipping over in the desert. People don't understand how dangerous those machines are. Next thing you know, you have the major situation, as he's named in a racketeering charge against members of the Treyway Bloods. And he was brought in also in the racketeering charges, where he faces 25 years to life behind bars. Where he's currently locked up now. I don't think there's a bigger loser than this. He had $1 million deals on the table for him. He hustled his way to getting millions of dollars offered to him, and to have this happen is beyond me, beyond anything I could fathom. I'll tell you that right now. So with that being said, it's your boy Carcino. I'm out. Hope you guys like the list. And don't forget, like I said, you guys can donate at any time. Click the link in the description box. Peace. Oh yeah, and give me your top 5. I want to see your top 5. I'm out.